Hi, welcome to Truth to Tal and Isaac. I'm Tal.
I'm Isaac.
Episode number 63 coming at you tonight. Big 63. Best 63 of all time. Leroy Selman, who was a defensive end for Tampa Bay when they were like Orange Crush. He was a beast.
No one knows who that is.
No, lots of guys. Old guys. Leroy Selman. They're like, yeah. Full cap.
No, that's you don't say full cap. You just say cap.
Cap. Okay, yeah. Leroy Selman, cap.
No, that's not the right use of cap.
You sure?
Cap is lying.
Really?
So when I said
What's the opposite of cap?
when I said no cap.
No cap.
Yeah, so you can say Leroy Selman.
Leroy Selman's a beast.
No cap. No caps.
Cap.
No cap. So then you're lying. Never mind. You don't understand.
No, you're right. I don't
Even the
understand.
people that don't know what cap. I just explained it. Now they understand, except you.
Perfect. Okay. We talked about the NBA. Lots of stuff happening in the second round, and a big road trip for Isaac and Noah.
Air trip.
Air trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Boy, Tigers are just so bad. Like, I don't
Move
know
on.
what to
No.
say about them. No,
Cheap tickets. That's all I care about.
cheap tickets, and that's how it translates to us. Like Uncle Dante and the staff group text the other day, bad. We translate this as to cheap tickets, easy for us to move down. The trainers were right behind home plate last night. They were in our seats.
Yes, they are in our season ticket holder seats.
Here's a question for you, though. Do the Tigers trade some of their young pitchers for some hitting help?
They're not going to make a move. They won't make a move. Avila won't make a move.
I agree.
Off-season showed this.
Cut out some of
Yeah.
my off-the-top stuff? So
Yeah.
I had trouble printing?
No. First of all, I'm just going to get going here. You don't know how to print. So, like,
I do have some difficulties.
every
printing on this
single
printer.
time, it's, hey, can you print my sheet for me? And he's got a sheet of nonsense. Everything is wrong.
No, it's super researched.
Okay, well,
Yeah, I get lots of good information from Dale. Thanks, Dale.
so he has this sheet of just cap and wants me to print it, and because he
No cap.
can't. It's, again, not the right use. And he's like, oh, can you print my sheet? So I say, sure. So I go on, I print a sheet. If I'm printing a sheet, I'm going to take out some of the stupid stuff. So he puts in stupid, really dumb things that I just see in the first bit that I take off. I don't read anymore, and now he's writing something down.
Yep.
He remembered some of the stuff.
Yep, remember some of the stuff.
Okay, go ahead, talk about your cap.
Okay. Gobert to the Clippers. I did read this rumor online. Zubak, Kennard, Mann, Morris, and a 2028 first round.
Clippers aren't doing that. Not a chance.
You don't think so?
Not a chance. Why would the Clippers trade for the guy that they exposed? That doesn't make any sense.
I agree with you.
That's like the Heat trading for Trae Young.
Yep.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I agree with you. We didn't do a shout out to the moms. This is the first episode after Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Yep. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms, wives, aunts, nonas, sisters-in-law, all those people. Good job, moms.
Good job, moms.
Okay. NHL, obviously everybody's losing their minds because the Leafs win
Don't
a
care.
game, then they lose a game.
Keep it moving.
Austin Matthews, Oilers, sorry Uncle Dan. They just don't look very good. They don't seem to win at all.
They don't look very good? You've stayed up until 10 You can't stay up until 9 p.m. to watch
No,
playoff basketball?
Last night, I was up late.
Do you watch 2 minutes of hockey and say, oh, this is how I don't watch hockey,
Yeah.
and then you went to bed? That's
don't watch
100% what happened.
No, I was up past you last night.
Well, we'll talk about that. It's because the Warriors were down 55 points, but keep going. I didn't watch. I gave up after the first half because I stay up to watch basketball during the week late, and I'm not going to watch the Warriors just get destroyed.
Can't really argue with that. Talk about mailing it in.
No, we'll talk about why they lost later. I'll let you know why.
Fair enough. That's all I have for off the top. You want to jump into the East or you want to go West?
I'll start with the West.
Okay.
We'll go Grizz Warriors. Let me just write this down.
Yep.
401. So basically, this is a really good series on paper. In reality, the biggest headline of the series is what? Do you know? It's the dirtiness.
The punkness.
It's the injuries.
Punkness by Brooks and the unpunkness called punkness by Jordan Poole.
Well, there's like 17 different things that, right? Jaw injury, then there's the Brooks suspension. Anything involving Draymond is going to be labeled dirty, even if it's not dirty. That's just the reputation he's built. Mm-hmm. Poole has gotten rocked like 16 different times throughout the series.
He's not a dirty player.
Poole is not dirty, no. So it's really good and it's really entertaining basketball, even when teams are shooting 2 for 20 from 3. But the fact that the dirtiness and the dancing and the Twitter is what is coming out of the series, I don't like.
I
which
agree
is
with you.
unfortunate. Because
Right?
the Twitter nonsense, like I like Jaw. You probably don't know. Jaw's extremely active on Twitter and just posts dumb stuff and then deletes it. So
Active on Twitter does not translate into being good. Like I used to follow him, then I deleted it because I was stupid.
it's just unfortunate that this series with, you know, the team of a lot of veterans and they've been there before against up-and-comers, and then it's just injuries and look what he said on Twitter and look at him taunting the fans. And both teams are at fault a lot, right? It's just...
I agree.
It's unfortunate. So that's what I have there. The Game 5 massacre, like I said, 55 points. The Warriors were down 55 points at one time. It was brutal. Like, I watched the game. It was basically the Warriors would get it. A lot of the time, they actually got a decent look, and they didn't shoot awful, but they missed more shots than they made, obviously. And the Grizzlies would just go right down and score. And it got to like 30, 25, 30. I'm like, okay, it'll probably hang around here. And then it just kept happening. Golden State just... Okay, that one rims out.
Over,
bad turnovers.
shots,
couldn't really rebound.
I saw about 3 turnovers in a row.
Grizzlies had a lot of extra. Grizzlies had, I think, 18 more field goal attempts in the game, plus free throw nonsense, right?
Yeah.
So if you're going to have 18 extra shots, including, you know, let's say half of them are threes or so, 8 of them are threes.
It's a nice suit jacket you have.
Thank you. It's mine.
You're welcome.
So, yeah, that was Game 5 there. What else do I have? Kuminga. Kuminga starting. Very neat.
I wrote that down. Why is he not getting more playing time? Can you explain that to me, please?
Sometimes he plays like 5 minutes. Sometimes he plays like 20. I don't really get it. Here's what's going to happen. Regardless of what happens with the Warriors, we're dumping Andrew Wiggins, and we're going to get 20-year-old Kuminga, and we're going to push him up, maybe into the starting 5. Depends on their team next year. And he is going to be that guy. Like, he's just going to develop, and he's going to be unreal.
I agree with you.
And you guys are going to wait until this kid's awesome. But I think you got to get rid of Wiggins.
Oh, you've been on the Kuminga bandwagon for a long time.
I have. Me and Bill Simmons have been basically like the only two dudes have been talking about him.
I like Kuminga too.
Yeah, but you didn't watch him in the regular season because they played past your bedtime.
Most of the time, yeah.
And 2, he's not like in this draft class. No one was talking about him.
He was not heralded for sure.
If they're not going to talk about Cade Cunningham, they're probably not going to talk about Kuminga in Golden State, who's like the 5th option, right?
What was he drafted, like 5th or 6th?
7-ish, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
I think 7.
No, because Suggs was 5th.
Yes.
The dude from OKC
was Giddey 6. I think Kuminga might have went 7, and then they took Moses Moody later in the lottery, who I like but doesn't play.
Doesn't play at all.
What else do you have? Do you have anything on that series?
Just a couple things. I think people forget how much of an impact Steph Curry has on every single game, every single play. Just like when he's doing, like running around and looking for picks, whoever is guarding the guy who's setting the pick has to watch out for him as well. So he gets tons of attention all the time. And that's really what makes Golden State a lot of fun to watch. And I feel as people have just gotten used to how great Steph is.
I think you're right at the last bit there. People have forgotten how sick he is.
Yeah.
Because we've never seen anything like him before him. And then we'll get some guy, right? Like Trae Young. He really wants to be Steph Curry. That's not happening.
No, I don't think he has the desire. But you know what? There could be, I don't know, somebody who's
in a few years there'll
grade
be
11 right now or grade 10 who's just awesome and
just
go to University of Michigan for a couple months and it'll be great. Then
Michigan won't pay him enough. He'll go to Duke or MSU or
Kansas
Kentucky.
pays a lot.
Kansas is paying a lot
Memphis.
now.
Penny Hardaway.
Penny Hardaway's just going to write him a blank check.
There you go.
What else do you have on that series? I got a couple more things.
I look forward to it. I really think Golden State was a little strategic, and they're like, okay, this is not happening. They missed a lot of shots, and they just kind of mailed it in, and they'll come back and win games.
Yeah, Memphis came out pretty hot, right? In Memphis, win or go home.
Again, I don't remember if it was Bill Simmons or it's very difficult to measure determination and like panic, and Grizzlies had to win, right? So they played with everything they got, and they won. Okay, good for them. Still win.
Grizzlies are the Mavs. They're you can look at those two teams and see a lot of similarities, right? Mm-hmm. You've got a really underrated supporting cast who I'm falling in love with, both with Dallas and now with Memphis.
Yep, lots of guys who can play.
You've got a ball-dominant superstar who is just the man and not universally beloved, but like general fans.
Why is he not universally beloved?
It's because of the dancing, I think. and he's got like a bit of a
He's a bit
swagger to him.
like a Allen Iverson kind of.
I don't know, because usually I'd be the one to call that out and say like I hate this.
I don't like. I didn't
I like
love
it.
Allen Iverson as a player, but I love just about everything that John Morant does.
Yeah, I love Ja. I think if I was watching AI, like if AI was playing today and doing what he was doing today, I don't think I would like AI.
Like a different time, but I
or even put me in that time. I don't think I would like
Yep.
Iverson. Something about Ja. I don't know what. I don't know if it's his dad. I don't know if it's the small market. I don't know if it's the. I'm
the
just gonna
shots that he makes are crazy.
shove my knee down your throat and I'm just gonna dunk it. Like I don't know what it is.
Yes, that's pretty cool.
But I love Ja. Warriors. I'm kind of selling some of my Warrior stock. Don't tell them.
Really?
Just a little bit. Yeah.
You think they lose the series?
I think they win the series, but I don't know. I'm really nervous for. I'm assuming Phoenix can get past Luka.
I would think so, but
We'll talk about that later. But I am a little afraid. Like the way they looked, like they were down 55 points. There's no way that they go on to win the championship after being down 55 points in second round of playoffs.
good point.
I'm just putting two things together.
Yeah, those teams like when Philadelphia, like when teams of old won, they didn't lose by 55.
Yeah, like you can, like if they lost by 30, I could make excuses. I could say, okay, well it was in Memphis and they were Memphis was going all in. This was their last game. They're trying to win. 55. I can't explain that. So I am a little afraid for Golden State.
Okay, you want to pop over to Miami, Philly, or you want to stick out west?
Go East.
Okay, we're writing this down too.
I got you.
11-23.
Don't act like you're doing something big,
Yeah,
man.
Miami, Philly. So, listen, we thought Philly was done. And you know what? They came back. We need to give them some credit for winning games 3 and 4. Embiid played tough. Listen, we need to give some credit to Maxey and Harris, who have been really good this series. I have no idea what Philly is going to do with the Beard, right? Because they have to pay him, like, I don't know, 4 years, $225 million or something stupid crazy. He is now a pretty good offensive playmaker who can hit a few shots when he get to the free throw line. He is not going to blow by people much anymore. He plays very little defense. He is now the third option on a decent team.
Are we just going to do what the national media does, where when we talk about the series, we're only going to talk about Philly?
No,
and not...
talk about Miami next.
Just wondering. Okay,
Yep.
Go ahead.
Um,
Do you have anything else of Philly? You want to talk
A couple
about
more Philly
squad?
things. Danny Green obviously took a little bit of Bugs Bunny juice, and he took a little bit of Michael Jordan juice, and he's been pretty decent. Matisse Thybulle, I didn't realize that, and you made a good observation, pointed out to me. He basically doesn't get any playing time because he is so bad offensively.
He's terrible.
What's the player comp? Robertson?
Andre Robertson. You guys
Yeah.
remember him from a few years ago, right?
Yep.
Played with the Thunder.
And he was the fifth guy and never saw a shot.
Great defender, but was just like, his stroke was like, oh my gosh, that is awful. And there's a couple guys that can pull that off. Jaren Jackson. His stroke makes me want to die.
It's terrible, but it's like he's falling, but it somehow goes in.
Whereas, like, when, when Thybulle shoots, it's like, okay, that's off. He's either long or short or off by 3 feet to the right. Like, it's just... And if he hits a shot in the first quarter, Philly will win. I don't have stats in front of me. If Thybulle hits an outside J in the first quarter, Philly's just going to win the game. It's like, kind of like Danny Green.
Yep.
Okay, what else do you have?
Okay, I want to just talk about Heat culture wins, and I don't think it gets enough credit. They are just intense, and they're in your face, and I think they've just worn Philly down. I guess it's possible if Philly comes back and wins Game 6. I would be very surprised.
I wouldn't be. They're the favorite. ESPN, clean sweep of Philly picks. I was just watching.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I don't understand that. Whatever. But, okay, let's play that out and say that Philly comes back and wins. Embiid has a good game. Danny Green drinks some more
Refs
juice.
rig
He goes
it.
crazy. Lots of foul calls.
NBA rigged.
But the Heat are just too deep and too intense, too unselfish. Sometimes they're probably
Too unselfish.
too unselfish. But I obviously Jimmy Beast, best player in the playoffs.
Thank you.
But then you mix in Hero, Bam, Depot, Tucker. I like Tucker's game because he's actually improved for a 36-year-old dude who was just a defensive guy.
We're going to talk about old guys overperforming.
I love old guys
Just
overperforming.
wait.
So not only did Tucker become one of the best corner three-point shooters in the NBA this year.
Statistically, might be the best.
Now he's developed into this little floater hook guy.
Yep,
He
right.
pumps fake. Like, that's so awesome.
Right when they run PJ Tucker off the three-point line, he'll go hit a teardrop.
Yeah.
That's a statement I never thought I'd say, but that happens.
It happens. It happens a lot. We had a bit of debate, and they were talking about Bam. And listen, I like Bam, and I think he's obviously there's Embiid and Jokic, and those are the top two. And you picked Karl Anthony Towns.
Get this center takeout, and I'm going to tell you why it's dumb, and I'm going to say something.
Bam is probably the fourth best center in the league, and you think he's even less than that.
Okay, let's. What's something that no one likes? Parking tickets.
Correct.
That's like power ranking parking tickets.
There's so few centers out there.
The fourth best parking ticket isn't a good parking ticket. It's still a parking ticket.
That's a pretty good analogy.
Thank you. I'm so smart.
Did you write that down?
I actually did. It's because we had a parking violation today. But don't
you
worry.
got a parking violation?
No, not
today?
me. It's different. I'm not
What,
going to tell
my man
it here.
Craner, come
Stop.
on!
I'm not going to. No, I'm not.
Hey, coffee with Craner. Shout out to Craner.
That's my boy. So look, here's the deal. I'm going to expose a couple things. One, the whole Bam center thing. Andre Drummond has an All-NBA center nod. So I don't poop. So I don't care about All-NBA or
it's
center stuff.
Yep.
Because that's a stupid debate. It's like ranking the best long snappers.
Well,
I'll keep going.
You keep going.
Philly won games 3 and 4 because Embiid was tough. No, Philly didn't win. It's because Miami, I don't have the numbers in front of me, shot literally, I think, 13% and 14%
Oh, yeah,
from
like
3.
5 for 22 and bad.
And Philadelphia, both games shot 48%. Games 3 and 4, they shot 48% from 3. Miami shot sub 20. Maybe one game it was like 20, and then the other game was like 15. Something like that. That's why they lost. I can give you some refereeing stats, which I'm not going to do, about blank official has refereed in 13 straight Philadelphia wins, and I can throw that stuff, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to say that. I can say now that
Does Duncan get a little more playing time?
Maybe Dunks get some run tonight. It really
I
depends.
hope so.
So that's why
If they don't
games
want him,
3
they
and
can
4
trade him
lost.
to Pistons.
I hate
We'll take
Embiid.
him.
I hate Embiid.
You know what? I used to like him more. I admit I like him less.
Look, like, I love his game and actually his personality. In a playoff series, I hate Embiid. And it, like, when I'm playing against him, it's just because he's 7'1" and has the best feet of a big man I've ever seen in my life. Because I didn't watch Hakeem.
Like, he intentionally checked Jimmy because he was their best option on D to check him.
Well, Jimmy also wanted him because Jimmy
Yeah.
went through a stretch where he's like, okay, I'm just gonna pick
Take
on
anybody.
throw anybody, and I'm gonna score.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And obviously, I hate Harden, but Embiid, it's just he's impossible. Like it's not. It's like when you watch Giannis, and it's like that's not fair. That's not fair. They don't make him like Embiid, and the amount of calls that he gets, he earns. Yes, he earns a lot. But there was a play where like Gabe Vincent kind of like hit him like a block, kind of, and Embiid like threw his body back like 7 feet and waved his arms. It's like there's no way Gabe Vincent is moving Embiid like that.
Yeah, he's about $190.
Yeah, so I want to put that out there. Look, this is a tough game. Philly was the favorite. Game 6, we're going to go watch that when we're done, but
Okay.
I am nervous. That's what I got there.
Heat culture wins. I'm not as nervous as you are.
Okay.
Suns Mavs.
Alrighty, so Suns Mavs. I wrote down Suns versus Luka because Luka might be the best player in NBA playoff history to this point. And you're going to stop and you're going to be like, no, listen to what I said. It's right. Statistically speaking,
Like for his first X amount of games.
right now, what he's averaging and what he's doing in the playoffs is
He's
unbelievable.
He's right up there with like
He's currently the number one leading
Wilt,
scorer.
Jordan,
Point per
like
game.
some of the all-time guys. Yeah.
He's averaging like 34 or so a game in the playoffs, which is nuts.
He's so good.
34 in the playoffs is crazy just because of, especially how I'm playing next to him, right? Like, give me a few more looks from 3 and I will give you Davis Bertans minutes, right? So, Luka, currently maybe the best player in NBA playoff history. Get him a couple more rounds, his numbers will go down a bit, things will even out, but I'm just making that statement right now.
Well, the funny thing is, I think this is going to continue because Dallas just doesn't have the horses around him. Listen, their supporting cast is better than everybody thought, but I just don't see this, right? Because you look at Warriors, you look at Suns, Grizz, they're going to be tough to beat over the next
I'll get this out of the way.
3 years.
Because I wrote this down. The Suns roster on paper
Should kill them.
No. Suns big men. Do you know who the Suns big men are after Ayton? You've got JaVale McGee and you've got Bismack Biyombo.
Another almost fight with Chris and Biyombo. What was that deal?
Okay, McGee and Biyombo have looked awesome this whole playoffs in this series. It's crazy. And this is just like a Monty Williams kind of Chris Paul thing where they can put in any big guy and make him awesome. Andrew Bogut, we were just talking about him the other day. He would be awesome. You could get him right now. He'll be great. You can, it's just crazy what they're doing to these guys, Biyombo and McGee. If you told me McGee and Biyombo would be the second and third bigs for a championship team, like a couple years ago, even 5 years ago when Biyombo was good, and McGee was never good, but it's just unbelievable. I just have to put that out there. Shout out Chris Paul for that. Also, Chris Paul, what's with the 2 for 5 5-point
I don't
games?
get it. I know he was upset about the drunk guy wanting to hug his wife and his mom and all that stuff, but I don't think they're connected because he didn't find out about that until later. Injured, tired, just tired legs. I don't know.
I don't really understand it. It's just sometimes
it's a little hard to understand. I agree with you.
He's just super passive, which I get. But where it's okay, 13 assists is nice, but let's shoot the ball more than JaVale McGee, literally, right? So,
who's coming out of the West? Pick one team.
I would pick the Suns. I think the Suns actually have shown some flaws. The Russian was cut. I think the Suns get out of the West. I have no idea.
I'm still picking the Dubs. I'm assuming the Dubs are going to play better than they have because they haven't played great. I still think they can step up their game a little bit.
We can make the argument the Suns have played their best basketball already. The Warriors maybe haven't played their best basketball.
The Suns maybe played their best basketball in the regular season and the first round.
Even in the first round, they showed some weaknesses. This is the series where Bridges and Ayton have to kind of step up, right? They need to step up.
I agree.
And they haven't really yet. They've kind of been inconsistent. I still am throwing the bag at Ayton, but there's some times where he needs to be a little more aggressive on offense. Mm-hmm. And they have tried to expose him a little bit with the switches, right? So 5 out is the future. This is what Dallas is running, where it's just 4 dudes standing on the perimeter and 1 dude with the ball. And that's what the future looks like. And the Mavs run that perfectly. I think...
Well, there's not a better player in the NBA to run that.
I just want to shout out Luka. If Luka gets the defender on his back, bad things will happen. He's either going to shoot a little 8-foot push shot, or he's going to do a sick alley-oop or sick pass behind the back to the corner, or he's going to shoot a one-leg, 12-foot step-back fadeaway.
His creativity is awesome.
I love him so much. Yeah. Look, sometimes he's got to shut up a little bit, but he gets hit. He induces a lot of contact.
Yeah, he does.
But yeah, sometimes I think he has kind of the Tatum-LeBron syndrome.
Prediction, this offseason, he's going to actually get in a little bit better shape, and he's going to kill it next year.
Well, that's the thing. Everyone was oh...
He's not the fastest guy. He's not beating him with your speed anyways. But I just think...
He had a couple bad weeks to start the year, and it wasn't even bad relative, right? He probably still put up 27. He put up better numbers than Westbrook.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I think Luka's the man.
He's the future.
Luka's the future. He's the franchise of the NBA.
Okay. Bucks and Celtics. So thank you for calling me back last night because I'd given up, right? I thought the Bucks were done.
Explain calling you back.
So I went upstairs just because I thought the game was done, and then Isaac was making noise, so I ran down and watched the end of the game because the Celtics gave this away. If you're Boston, you are absolutely pissed
the Allsops
off.
Calling in.
If you're the Allsops, sorry about Allsops. I feel bad for the Allsops. I don't feel bad for the Celtics. That's the take there.
All right.
They just stole one. There's a lot of dynamics at play here. Obviously, Giannis just saying, I would like to win now is more relevant than anything else. We're going to talk about Tatum, and sometimes when he has bad offensive games, he doesn't try on D, and Smart always seems to be injured, makes shots, misses shots, gives the ball away twice in the last, I don't know.
Can we talk about, can we spend some time on the Drew Holiday bit there at the end? Oh my God,
such a great play.
Here's the deal. I've got some advice. Can I give some advice?
For me?
No. To Marcus Smart, a.k.a. Marcus Dumb. Marcus, here's what I want you to do. I know he listens. Marcus, I want you to go to your local Staples. I know they've got some good ones in Boston. Shout out Staples, my former employer.
Shout out Staples.
With all due respect.
Are you kind of still, are you a respected alumni?
I'm respected alumni. Yeah, I'm part of the Alumni Association.
Okay. All right.
You got to go to your local Staples. Aisle 2 is shipping. That, at least in ours. So go to Staples Aisle 2. Get it a good shipping box. If they've got some bubble wrap, get some bubble wrap. Do you know where I'm going with this?
No, but you should bring Sonny into this conversation, though.
I'm not... Shout out Sonny, my boy. That's my boss. Former boss.
Get
some bubble wrap from aisle 2 and get your box. And then you got to go home. And then you need to get your fraudulent Defensive Player of the Year trophy and put it in this box and write Mr. Drew Holiday, a.k.a. my father, and you got to ship it to Milwaukee.
Ship it to Beavertown. I interviewed a dude from Beavertown, Wisconsin today. It's a suburb of Milwaukee. And Fredericks, he can hook you up.
Okay,
Send it to Fredericks. I got his address.
I'm just saying, like, Marcus Smart, dude, obviously him getting blocked by Holiday isn't a defensive thing.
A good play.
And then he cupped it to keep it in bounds.
Yeah.
Like, he was just offhand and then threw it off. It was just a play that guys don't make.
No, and Marcus Dumb was dumbfounded.
And then after that, Smart wanted to play hero ball, and I hate Tatum.
Wide open.
Get Tatum the rock. I don't care if he's got 3 on him. I would rather Tatum shoot a fadeaway step back because he actually hits those sometimes. So that's what I have there. And
so what happens Game 6?
I don't know. I would think the Celtics will win.
So would I?
It is.
No,
Milwaukee.
No, Milwaukee wins.
Okay. So you think Milwaukee wins in 6?
Yes, I do.
I said Celtics in 6 originally.
Really?
Celtics are really good. They're so good.
They are really good. Williams plays good D on Giannis. And listen, when you add up Brown, Tatum has generally been very good in the playoffs. Yeah. There's been a couple times
he had
where
a really good first round.
Yeah, and he's had some good moments in the second round. But listen, if he brings, let's just say it, if they play as well as they did against the Nets, all of them, they win. But I just don't think that's going to happen.
I have a phone call scheduled with the mayor of Boston coming up. I didn't tell you, but I have a schedule. I have a phone call with him.
Is he racist?
Yeah, he is.
Of course.
But I have a phone call scheduled, and I'm declaring a holiday for Boston. Monday, May 9th.
Drew Holiday?
No. It's the Al Horford Day. When
he
87-year-old Al Horford turned back the clock.
He was...
And was the best player on the court. He outplayed Giannis that game.
Blew by Giannis and dunked and was
right?
actually entered. I used to like Al Horford. I think he was a good player 5 years ago, and then he was treated like trash and played in OKC and then sat in OKC, and then he came back and listen, if he is your 5th guy, then you're a good team.
I got his stats that game. 30 points, 8 boards, 3 dimes. Here were splits from the field. 79% from the field, 75% from the free throw line, 71% from 3. Shot 70s across the board, dropped 30 points, mega efficiently, guarding Giannis a lot of the time,
played
doing
good
pretty
D
good.
on Giannis in addition to Williams.
Unbelievable. Like, you're right. Al Horford 5 years ago was a good center. People are like, this is prime Al Horford. Did Al Horford ever do this? No. Like, in Atlanta, he was always like the 3rd dude, right? And I like those Atlanta teams. Like, I remember watching that team.
They were deep. They were pretty good teams.
Yeah. And they had a lot of good run-ins in the playoffs, but they couldn't really get by, Queen James, right? But I just shout out Al Horford. That's awesome, man. Like, that's so cool how he's doing that. So that's what I have there.
And listen, we don't like a lot of players on the Celtics, so hats off to Horford.
Anything else on that series?
Keep watching the NBA. It's fun.
Yes. So I guess we're going to talk about Phoenix for a bit now.
We're going to talk about Phoenix. Oh, by the way, we've got our town hall meeting tomorrow, and I'm going to do a shout out to challenge any 2 employees to take Isaac and I on 2-2
for basketball.
I don't really know what we're going to come up with, but I need to work on my jump shots.
Okay, all you got to do is just be an Al Horford
tough.
For me. Like, you don't have to be. You don't have to do this Al Horford.
No, honestly, when we play, I don't try and do crazy stuff. I just hit smart stuff around the basket and hit a couple of J's.
We were shooting in the driveway the other day, and you're like trying to do like dipsy do Steph Curry English layups. Don't really get that. That's not really your game.
That's not my game.
Okay, so I went to Phoenix last weekend with my cousin, head of analytics, Noah, and we'll just go through some quick stories here.
Sure.
Most of which I can say, a couple of which we'll saw some people.
We'll pull some stuff on our Instagram feed.
Yeah, if the people want it. Hashtag for the people. Shout out the listeners. Say thanks.
Thanks, listeners.
All right.
Hashtag Team Tal. Team Tal Nation.
So, Friday, we flew out to Phoenix. First of all, it started with a really nice guy on the plane. Now, it was Noah, myself, and then a random guy. And the Heat were playing Game 3, it would have been, I think.
Against Philly? Yeah, that would have been right.
They were playing Game 3, and this guy had Wi-Fi and was flipping through channels. I didn't tell a lot of you that.
No,
don't look at the Heat score. And this guy is flipping through channels and flips on ESPN, and I see Heat and Sixers. And I had just kind of said oh, hey, how are you? We didn't really talk during the flight. But this guy's...
You're wearing this shirt, right?
I am wearing my Ben Wallace shirt. I am.
Yep.
So I'm like, I tap him. I'm like, excuse me. And he starts to get up because he thought I probably have to go take a leak. And I'm like, no, is there any chance that you could put on the Heat game and we could watch? Oh, yeah, sure. So this guy's...
It's a Kroninger, right?
We'll get there. This guy turns his iPad and we're just watching the Heat game, talking about Heat. And he's like, all right, let's go through the pro teams that have a name that doesn't end with S. So,
oh, gosh.
Miami
Jazz,
Heat. And we're not doing this
Sock,
now.
okay.
We're not doing this now. So then we were playing this game, and I think I got, like, I did pretty well. Noah was helping me a bit and whatever. So we're going through, talking about the Heat, talking about life. Turns out this guy is a martial arts guy. Multiple black belts.
Sweet.
And he is, like, in his probably early 70s, if I were to guess, I would think. And he's talking about his kids and all this stuff, and he's like, martial arts. And then we're talking about martial arts movies, and he's talking about which ones are real and which ones aren't, and tells me, like, it was just super cool.
And you held your own?
And then, so I'm like, so we got to be buddies. So I'm like, so if anyone got up on this plane and tried to fight you, could you, like, beat him up probably? And he's like, well, it depends if what kind of fighter they were in close contact. But basically, this guy was sick. Super good dude.
Nice.
Shout out him. Then landed in Phoenix. Or no.
What about the pilots?
That was before. Yeah, we landed in Phoenix. And then we asked the pilots if we could go in the cockpit and take pictures with our pilot hats. And we did. I'll post that picture.
That's a good picture.
That's a fire picture.
That's a good picture.
Then, Friday, we get back to the hotel. We go down to a restaurant to watch... What game did we watch? The Suns-Mavs game. Probably Suns-Mavs game 3. And we met Justin Gaethje's buddy at the bar.
Who?
Justin Gaethje's was a really awesome UFC fighter.
Okay.
And we didn't really believe this guy. And then he showed us his tickets. And then they're like row B or something, like ringside tickets, which were like over $10,000, like probably $15,000 if you wanted to pay for them. And they're like, okay, he's probably legit. So met him Saturday, sunscreen mishap. I'll tell this story real quick. For the record, we saw it was Zeke and Ova. Were there.
Zeke and Ova. Yeah, you're friends.
Yeah. So we saw these two guys that kind of looked like us, but they weren't us, in a CVS pharmacy. Mm-hmm. Did I tell you this?
No. Well, yeah, kind of.
CVS pharmacy, and we overheard them.
I think I heard pyramid of suntan lotion. Is that the phrase?
Yeah.
Pyramid.
So we see these two
You know what that
dudes.
means?
Stop. We see these two dudes, and they look a lot like us, but they weren't us.
No.
Okay? Zeke and Ova. Not Isaac and Noah. Okay? Just different guys. And they're talking about how they want to put on sunscreen.
Wait a sec. Is that Val?
Yeah.
Val's son.
Yeah.
Got it.
So they want to put on sunscreen. And they said they didn't want to buy sunscreen. I don't know. They said that's what they said. It was $7.
The glop is expensive.
It was $7 sunscreen. And they didn't want to buy it. So they had the idea of putting a pyramid of sunscreen on your hand and then just to test it, and then casually walk out with this said pyramid of sunscreen, like the lotion, in your hand. So I see one of them, it was Zeke, put a big glob of sunscreen in his hand. And he didn't, the game plan, they didn't discuss too well. So he thought he had to apply it in store. So he started to apply it, not knowing that this lotion of sunscreen is really hard to get through. So it just looks like glue on you, right? It's very noticeable. He was really pasty and white, but it was still noticeable. So he basically kind of had this mess of globs of sunscreen all over the place while still having this pyramid of sunscreen in his hand. Basically, he applied it really quick, and then they left. So that was a sunscreen mishap. Okay, that wasn't us.
Okay.
We went to UFC that night. Big card. For those who like UFC, it was awesome. Fans were nuts. It would be quiet in the middle of the fight. You'd hear some dude from the back row yell like, "Rip his head off," or "Kill him." Like, it was just like you would hear all of this. And they're all over the place, because sometimes during fights it gets quiet because there's no announcers and there's no music. So if the fans aren't going nuts, and there's times in fights where it's quiet, you just hear like these crazy dudes yell like, "Slice his throat open!" Like, you hear all this. So that was fun. That was UFC. Sunday, went to a baseball game. Real good game. Diamondbacks are in town.
Don't you want to talk about who you met?
Oh yeah, Patty the Batty. Those who know UFC.
New favorite.
We met Patty the Batty. Awesome dude. Sunday, baseball game. Went to the ball game. We can say this because we did everything legal here.
Bought tickets.
Bought tickets. Went to the game. Made friends at the seats. The friend said, "Hey, we've got these extra lower level tickets. We won't be able to use them. If you want them, they're yours." So we said, okay. So we used the lower level tickets. We may have went a little lower Then those lower level
Just
tickets.
Strictly by accident.
It was we were lost. We're Canadian. We didn't know where we were going.
You don't speak Phoenix?
No. Then we got kicked out by some mean worker.
Really?
But, are these your seats? We're lost. We're Canadian. Oh, right. So we had to move, but we still finished good seats. Then so that was Sunday. Sunday night. You know those birds, those electric scooters?
Yeah.
Awesome. A lot of fun. Went on those, took some cool pictures, had fun on those, just kind of making friends. One dude called Noah the captain of the sea because we had our pilot hats on.
Nice.
So he was the captain of the sea. Then Monday, made friends at the airport because we had a ball, obviously, playing catch in the airport. These two little dudes saw the ball, and they were like I don't know, 9 and 7 or so. So we just played catch with the four of us and played catch in the airport. So that was a Phoenix trip. I'll post some pictures. Any statements on the Phoenix trip?
Road trips are cool. Glad you did it. We've done a lot of road trips, driving, flying. This is the first solo without the old man.
Well, I did Toronto, and then I
guess you did Toronto.
And that was sports. But yeah, so we'll probably do something again. So shout out Phoenix. Thanks for having us.
Yep, Cousin Noah, you man.
Yeah, Cousin Noah and I had a really good time.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now he's my coach.
Yeah, sports is cool. Let us know what else you want to talk about. Peace out.
Next week, a little soft launch here. Should we tell them about my adult job next week?
Yeah.
I'm now an adult, guys.
It's got a grown-up job.
I did it. Okay, see you guys.
Lots of ironing.